The thing that attracted me to Pepperdine is when I got out of college as an undergraduate, I knew I wanted to do public policy, but as I looked around, I found that a lot of the programs that dealt with public policy were, in my judgment, too narrow. And the thing that was so refreshing to me when I found Pepperdine was that they thought of public policy in an expansive way. You get people who are going to end up in the federal government. You get people who are going to end up in state or local government. You also get people who end up in the nonprofit sector. Public policy is not cabined to politics. It's not even cabined to government, necessarily. I think the most valuable contribution that Pepperdine made for me was the intellectual dexterity. You have a wide enough variety of courses and a wide enough variety of professors that you start learning a number of different ways of thinking. And when you work, for instance, like I do at a think tank, and 20 minutes after I have a conversation where I've got some problem regarding energy policy, and then I have one that has to do with healthcare, I think the sort of nimbleness you get from the educational experience at Pepperdine has been incredibly helpful in navigating that. You don't have the time to sort of sit back and reflect on these things. It's sort of a rapid response. It's sort of public policy boot camp. You know, once you've gotten that at Pepperdine, you have the muscle memory, and you can do this stuff in the moment. When you come to a place like Washington, people sort of know what it means to have gone through the School of Public Policy at Pepperdine.
It was while I was in college that I had the experience that channeled my energy and my passion for the education system. We went downtown to volunteer on Skid Row. There was one resident in particular who caught my eye, and it was this little girl who was about 6 months old, and the little girl was crawling on the sidewalk, and I just remember looking at her and thinking, she has no idea what she's up against. Everything sort of culminated in this idea that, you know, education really is the only answer. If nothing else changes in your family, if your parents don't have the resources or tools, you have a chance if you can get a good education. And so I decided that I would become a teacher. I would learn about this system we call education, and one day I'd open a school for kids like her. The name of our school is Crete Academy, and we got the name, it's a Greek word. Crete means to create, and our philosophy and belief is that students can come to us and take a hold of the resources and supports that we provide. And we serve children who are in South Los Angeles, ages TK through 6th grade, which is about 4 years old to 12. And we provide a college prep program and also a wellness program that provides wraparound services. So it's really an integrated school where we're looking at the whole family, the whole child, and focusing on their emotional well-being as well as their academics. Pepperdine School of Public Policy aligned with my core values, and that was what was most important. I specifically wanted to be there because of their focus, the school's focus as a whole, but specifically the School of Public Policy's focus on really taking what you learn in the program and applying it to improve society. I want to change this community, and if we can invest in our 126 kids and send them off to never be in this poverty cycle again, we've done our job. The 30-40-year goal is to work on education policy. It's to start at the micro level and expand to the macro level. The only degree that was able to do that, in my opinion, was a public policy degree. I looked at MPAs, I looked at MBAs. There wasn't enough about the inner workings of society in either of those other degrees. But with the public policy degree, not only was I learning the analytical and the research side, I was also learning about society and how things work and how people work. I think a public policy degree is important no matter what you do. You have to understand the system that you're working within. That's when you can get at some of the major issues that we see every day. And I think without that, you can't really do anything. You can't really make change.
Pepperdine really prepared me to be in the sorts of positions where I ended up being on the White House staff in DC, working in the state capitol in Sacramento, being senior staff at a think tank in New York City. You have to have such a breadth of knowledge to do those things correctly that I don't think you would get from most public policy programs. You know, when people go to places like Washington or places where public policy really happens, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed. And having the experience at Pepperdine, you felt like you go in there and hold your own with those folks. You felt conversant with the people who were actually shaping public policy. I am so deeply indebted for the experience that I had and for the life that I've had since I went there. I can't imagine it not having it happen, and I will forever be in Pepperdine's debt for the education that I received there.
I'm grateful for Pepperdine. I'm grateful for the people that Pepperdine has afforded me the opportunity to work with and plan this school with and to prepare for the next 20 years in really tackling this issue of poverty. Eventually, I want to be old and gray writing policies for children who are low income and homeless as it relates to education, and for sure working with the kids who are in the most devastating situations to make sure that they can dream.